Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm CodeWizAI, your personal guide to all things AI. Today, we are going to talk about one of Claude's absolute best features, skills. We're going to look at how you can upgrade your AI from just a generic assistant into a personalized expert that, get this, works exactly the way you do. So, let's dive right in.
Does this sound familiar? I bet it does. You spend all this time crafting the perfect prompt. You know exactly what to tell Claude to get that perfect result, and then you find yourself just copying and pasting it over and over and over again. This quote right here, it really gets to the core of the problem we're going to solve today.
I like to call this the AI Groundhog Day, right? You start a new chat, you explain all the context from scratch, you paste in your special set of instructions, you give it the task, and then tomorrow, guess what? You do it all over again. It's this super tedious loop that doesn't just waste time. What's worse is that it often gives you slightly different, inconsistent results each time. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On the left, that's the daily grind. It's that endless cycle of re-explaining, fighting for some kind of consistency. But look over on the right. That is where we are headed. A world where you teach Claude your process just one time, and it remembers it forever, giving you perfect, high-quality work in an instant. That, my friends, is the promise of skills. So how do we actually break out of that loop? Well, we do it by giving our AI a playbook. And that's really the best way to think about a Claude skill. It's the key that unlocks this whole new level of personalized automation. Now, this definition is so important. A skill isn't about some generic best practice. It's about teaching Claude how you, yes, you, actually work. Think of it like a personal standard operating procedure. You're not just barking a one-time command. You're handing over the entire playbook for a task, so it runs the right play every single time without you even having to ask. And this slide brilliantly shows the difference between memory and skills. See, project memory is temporary. It's just there to help Claude remember what you were talking about in this one conversation. But a skill is a permanent upgrade. It's infrastructure. Memory says, hey, we're working on this one project. A skill says, this is how we format all projects like this from now on. It's your expertise, made portable, following you everywhere inside of Claude. Okay, you might be thinking this sounds a little technical, maybe a little complicated, but it's actually incredibly simple and really, really efficient. So let's just take a quick peek behind the curtain to see how Claude uses these playbooks so intelligently. This process is just genius. It's a concept called progressive disclosure. First, Claude just peeks at the one-line title of your skills. That's it. It's super fast, uses almost no brain power. Then, if it finds a match for what you're asking it to do, and only then, does it load the full instructions. This means you can have dozens of skills armed and ready, but they don't clog up the system until the exact moment they're needed. It's so efficient. All right, enough about the how. Let's get to the wow. What can you actually do with this stuff? Because this is where you stop being just an AI user and you start becoming an AI builder, creating your very own set of custom superpowers. Okay, so for example, imagine having a brand guardian. You create a skill with your company's brand guide, the specific hex codes for your colors, the exact font names, the right tone of voice. And from that moment on, every single document, every presentation, every email Claude makes for you is perfectly, automatically on brand. Or what about a content engine? This is huge for creators. You could feed Claude your 3 most popular YouTube video transcripts, have it analyze what made them successful, and turn that into a skill. And just like that, you have an engine that generates new ideas based on your own proven formula. And for all you business pros out there, picture a lead scorer. You define your perfect customer, company size, industry, whatever, and you bake that into a skill. Now you can just upload a file with 100 leads, and Claude will score them, rank them, and even recommend what you should do next for every single one. And don't forget, you don't have to build everything from scratch. Anthropic gives you these powerful official skills right out of the box. With the Document Wizard skills, you can ask Claude to create a complex Excel sheet with formulas and charts, or a 10-slide PowerPoint, and it just does it, because the playbook for those tools is already built right in. Okay, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. This is amazing, but it still sounds like a lot of work to set up. Well, what if I told you that the best way to get started is also by far the easiest? When Anthropic released their guide on how to build skills, it was this long 32-page document. And this right here was the top comment on Reddit. It's hilarious because it's just so true, right? Why read the manual when you can just ask the AI? This just perfectly captures the ultimate shortcut we all take now.
And there it is. That's the punchline. Anthropic knew this is how we all think now, so they gave us the perfect tool for the job. The absolute best way to build your first skill is by using a skill that's already been made for you. So meet the Skill Creator. This is an official skill made by Anthropic themselves. You don't have to know how to structure anything or write a single line of code. You just turn it on and say, hey, help me build a skill that does X. It'll ask you a few simple questions, and based on your answers, it will write and package the entire skill for you, ready to go. It honestly could not be any easier. So let's just bring this all together. You're not just using some generic tool anymore. You are actively building a personalized AI that understands your unique way of working. The big question then becomes, how do you know which tasks are the right ones to turn into a skill? Well, here's a really simple checklist. Just ask yourself these 4 questions about any task. Are you repeating yourself? Is consistency super important for your team? Do you have specific guidelines that have to be followed? And is the quality bar really high and non-negotiable? If you're nodding your head yes to even 2 of these, you have found a perfect candidate for a new skill. You know, what this all comes down to is this. Skills are how you take all that expert knowledge that's just rattling around in your head and turn it into a repeatable, explicit system. You are literally teaching your AI to think and work the same way you do, creating a true digital partner that's an extension of your own expertise. This really isn't just about saving a bit of time. It's about building a better, smarter way to work for you and your team. Your AI is ready. It's waiting for its first lesson. So the only question left is, what's the very first thing you're going to teach it? Thanks so much for joining me.